let's talk about what happened to me briefly, which is I've chronicled how I'm getting Google Fiber. They came out and they dug in my yard. Look at this. They dug in my yard and they put fiber in the ground, and it was like, this is Google Fiber.
Isn't it so awful just knowing that it's right there?
It was like that was a while ago that they did that, and they've gone all through the city. We were like the last people. They had dug everywhere, and you saw them put in the interduct, and you saw them pull the stuff through the interduct, and they get the fiber in the ground, and they're like, sign up now. And I signed up like months ago, and then they're like, encourage your neighbors to sign up. We'll start installations in May. And I people went out and like knocked and hung things on the mailbox. We have a common mailbox thing for several houses here, and they're like, sign up for this, and our fiberhood qualified for Google Fiber. And then they're like, after it was like, congratulations, you've qualified. We're like, yeah, we made the deadline. And then a little bit later they send this thing out, and they're like, and it was like a form letter. It was like, our records show that you are currently due to be installed in winter. I was like, winter? It's friggin' May!
Yeah.
And so who knows when we'll actually have Google Fiber here, and I don't know what the holdup is, because they really have already run all the cable everywhere. But because we have AT&T Uverse here in our neighborhood, we have Time Warner Cable, and we have Google Fiber. AT&T has said in parts of the metro they're rolling out a fiber competitive product. And now Time Warner has done they've done several speed upgrades since Google Fiber got into the metro, where it was like you get an email and your speed is up for the same price. So the different tiers all get pushed up in speed. But this latest one is what they call a Maxx upgrade. And so, for instance, ours, we had a 50 megabit down, 5 megabit up service, which was second from the fastest that you could get. And they upgraded it to 200 megabits down and 20 megabits upstream. So 4 times the speed, both up and down. And so I told the story of this in a little blog post. The weirdest thing about it was that they sent us thing in snail mail saying, here you go. And I went and tried it. It was about half what they said the speed I was supposed to get was. And they said, you may need a new modem. So I went online and ordered a new modem. A couple days passed, and they shut down our service completely. And so I went on Twitter, and I was like, contacted their help people on Twitter who seem to be pretty active, and said, is there an outage in my area? What's going on? Because clearly, like, it's not my thing. It's something's going on with your service. And they said, oh, your modem has been quarantined to inform you that you need to get a new modem to get the full speeds. And I'm like, but you took my service completely down. Like, how is that okay? You know? And they said that some routers will block a little web message you're supposed to get that will let you like go and order the modem and then turn off the quarantine. So I don't know, but we got that sorted out and got the service working again. And yesterday the modem came, and I installed it, and now I've got the speed test results here. Over 200 megabits downstream and over 20 megabits upstream over cable.
Man.
And so the question now becomes, like, for uploading, gigabit Ethernet or gigabit fiber, is better, right? And if you've got gigabit fiber, then they can upgrade it to 2 or more, because it's friggin' optical fiber, so it's going to be, like, it's got more headroom in it. But if you have 200 plus megabits of downstream, if you're not worried about like uploading to YouTube or doing specific things that require a lot of upstream, like most of what you do, how many consumer services and servers out there really sling bits to the consumer at over 200 megabits? And all I know of is Steam. And Steam is always the fastest for anything. And so I tried it, and I got 25 megabytes per second downloading, which is basically full speed. That this thing is capable of. But I can tell you what, it isn't going to be Intel's driver download that's going to max this out. And there aren't that many things that I don't think that hit that speed. So are there things that you guys use that like press against your upstream speed clearly? And how fast are your connections?
Oh man, I don't know, like 15.1. Okay,
you don't even count. Don't talk to me about it. Yes.
I'm in the same ballpark. They were supposed to upgrade my area to be able to do 50, but it's not happening yet. So yeah, I'm at like 15 down, and Steam consistently maxes it out, but that's really the only thing.
Okay, well, I'm gonna explore a little more, but my sense is, I don't know. There's some things that I would say are good that I don't feel like I even need this upstream. For instance, streaming Netflix videos, which we do constantly. That's the number one way we watch TV. Has been fine since we had 15 megabits back before Time Warner decided that it needed to compete and gave us multiple upgrades that got us to 200 for the same price. But that was just, it was fast enough the whole time, right? I think now with 4K video and some things you may need more bandwidth, but it's never been a problem.
I can always use more upload. Like I'm slinging like 80 megabyte images up to Flickr. I could always use more upload speed.
Well, you got one megabit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course you could. Use your cell phone. It's faster. Like your cell phone's probably 5 at least.
It probably is.
LTE. Yeah. You need
like
to tether when you have to upload.
We have Uverse here, and that tops out about 45 if you buy the most expensive package, and we could switch over to Comcast, but just the thought of that makes me ill.
Yeah, I'm pleased that Time Warner is doing this, and I'm also pleased that they're not merging with Comcast, who has a terrible reputation. So, anyway. Well, I'm going to play with this a little more and sort of get a feel for this, but I tell you what, this makes it a lot easier to wait for Google Fiber to come into town. And for some things, like my parents have Time Warner, I don't know that they need to bother upgrading to Google Fiber, given this, right? They don't even need the 200 megabit down, but I think they have like 50 down, 5 up now, for a pretty reasonable price. And like they don't want to change their TV service because they want like some old people channels that like you can't get on Google Fiber because Google, of course, wouldn't get the old people channels in its package. So I don't think they're going to change. This like saves them from. I don't have to go through. I was going to like change them to Google Fiber and help them with that. I don't have to do that now. So.